We're live now. Yeah, that's what I want to do. All right. And mute. All right. Greetings, everyone. Welcome to CRWS, R.I.P.S, Racism in Plain Sight. So we're going to be sharing a number of news articles, events, and just media that is displaying people behavior. And a lot of the behavior is tacky, trashy, and are terroristic. This broadcast, this channel, everything presented here is in an effort to get everyone focused on producing justice, guaranteeing no one is allowed to be mistreated, and a person who needs help the most receives constructive help. That is the purpose of the people who appear on this broadcast, speak on this broadcast. Justice. The information, the behavior patterns presented here reveals that the system of white supremacy has no interest in producing justice and is totally against the concept of justice. In fact, it promotes the behavior we're going to be discussing here today. Behavior that does not get any better than tacky, evil behavior. So that's just the intro. While these clips may not seem connected to a person who is a little more confused about racism and white supremacy, what it is and how it works, to a person who is a little less aware of what people behaviors mean, what the words of people mean, they may see these as isolated incidents, but all roads lead to racism. Greetings, RTR. Welcome to the broadcast. Yeah, we're gonna get started with our first clip. Stop that. Kill that and
again. Touch me again.
I don't want to get pepper sprayed. I really don't.
Go pick up my hat. You heard me.
Fuck your shit.
Touch me again. Touch me again. That's what I thought. Thank you.
Hey, don't hit me with that shit.
I ain't gonna pray you. That wants to put his hands on me again. Go home with you. Let's go get his ass. Hail Hitler. Hey, thanks for picking up my hat.
Get the fuck out of Nashville!
Look at this. Get her. Get her.
White supremacist Nazi.
Get that dude.
we don't actually need to watch the whole clip, but we will watch this one before we discuss what we're seeing here.
Now to an update. A controversial streamer will remain behind bars in Montgomery County. His bond was revoked. Dalton Etherly is facing attempted murder charges after allegedly shooting a disabled veteran outside the Montgomery County courthouse last month after they got into a fight. Dalton Etherly will appear in court again next week on charges in a separate case.
All right, so Chud the Builder, or Dalton, whatever, race soldier, white supremacist. This individual, this white supremacist, race soldier, is significant because he was allowed to amass a huge following, massive influence. He has the attention of course, white children, but also non-white children. There are classrooms with non-white children praising and imitating Chud the Builder. Because in this hyper refined system, it appears that overt racism is in now. You know, it's in, it's trending, it's commodifiable, and if you play your cards right, you can get really wealthy, you know. But the system of white supremacy allows a lot of white people to be really, really stupid. You know, the system is so powerful and so insanely um just awesome, like the code describes it as, because no matter how smart or not smart a white person is, this system can allow them to do things non-white people simply aren't cannot. It's very, very hard for us to amass a huge following and tremendous wealth, talking about going around calling white people names and trying to get white people to attack us so we could harm them or mace them. It's really hard for us, if even possible, for us to get any so-called success in doing that. But Chud the Builder was able to become a um probably almost a millionaire by going around mistreating non-white people, mostly black people, name calling them, attempting to provoke a response from them. And this behavior is being imitated by hundreds of thousands of non-white people around the planet, and white children, of course, white people who enjoy this. Who, hey, you know, I am racist. I will admit I'm racist. I want to have fun, and I have fun by going around doing what Chud the Builder was doing. But because Chud the Builder was a white supremacist who's not that smart, you know, he actually shot a prisoner of war, victim of racism, black male veteran. Shot him, and now he's in greater confinement. And hopefully he is sacrificed. Hopefully the system says, you know what, Chud the Builder, this is not how we are going to run our business. Because if too many white people are going around mistreating black people in this manner, then they may want to do something about white supremacy. They may actually want to counter the system. They may actually want to produce justice, and we can't have that. So the way you are practicing racism does not work for us. Thank you for your work, but we're gonna sacrifice you. We're gonna throw you into prison for ever, or at least 20 years. Don't worry, when you get out, you're still gonna, you know, become a millionaire and share your prison stories and all this stuff. You're still gonna be more successful than any of the Obamas because you're white, and that's what the system allows you to do. But let's hope he ends up in greater confinement. Chud the Builder has a lot of he's not only is a white supremacist, but he's a white supremacist that echoes the many just mental mental illnesses white supremacists possess. Um like, yeah, I'm not even gonna go into area 8 involving Chud the Builder, but it is alleged that for him he is a white supremacist who hates black people, but allegedly he has been anally penetrated by a black female, which is very common for white supremacists um, worldwide. So that's all. I think that's all I have to say about Chud the Builder, white supremacist. The children are worshiping him is famous. He's famous now for being a white supremacist, but it's nothing new. We have this Kyle Rittenhouse, um, number of white supremacists are very famous, but in this hyper age of like TikTok and whatnot, it's only getting more deranged and common. And welcome to the broadcast. Still learning. Nice to see you. Yeah, I'm gonna pause and see if any of the other panelists, Mr. Monsoon, Miss Action, have anything to say about Chud the Builder.
Yeah, I'll be real short. I mean, based off that clip, clearly other white people don't like his overt racism. So that's just one. Uh, and I say, lastly, well, for one, I didn't know who he was until this all happened. But again, he's just another, laundry list of white people who, like, are on these platforms, whether it's Twitch or now Kick, to where you just got, these white people just being emboldened by other white people, along with their like so-called chat room, and just being uh, overt racist to just random not white people, mainly black people on the street, and basically thinking that they can just get away with it. So again, just I would say a new sacrifice since he's got arrested and now he's been thrown in jail. So that's all.
He is an actor who can't get movie roles. That's all I see it as. And this is his way to get money. Black people are at the bottom. Black people are to be used as a resource for enrichment in all sorts of ways. Get a Negro mad and catch it on camera so you can make a lot of money because angry Negroes get a lot of attention. And if you defend yourself against an angry Negro, then you will be justified and exonerated, as I'm sure we have seen recently in the news.
And I I would also say it's just like plain old easy. I mean, okay, basically getting a black person mad by saying the N word. I mean, what else is new? It's like plenty of examples that either now or back then. So I mean, what he was doing wasn't anything new or like inventive. It was just the same playbook that white people run in order to get a rise out of random uh, people classified as black. So that's all.
Yeah, thank you. I didn't even So it's analyzing this clip further. I noticed that after he maced the black male, he wanted to go hunt him down because that's another behavior pattern that white people display. How they have fun chasing down, hunting down black people. The black male who gave him his hat, an example of a highly confused victim of racism like myself, who just is, conditioned, sees a white supremacist right in front of him. The programming still is to help him. Did he have to pick up the hat? No, but he did. And I'm am in no place to really comment on what other victims are doing on this planet. But victims of racism should not be helping white supremacists if they have the ability to not do so. That that seems like a logical approach. Um, and also, due to this pattern of racism, overt racism, of white people are running around trying to get a reaction from black people. People racially classified as black, people forced to designate themselves as black. Because this is happening, non-white people should understand what is a nigger. It's just a non-white person. It's just and you can give it your own definition. But my definition, just a non-white person, person who's been given the situation that we have here, the situation of white over non-white. White people have conquered the entire planet and they have placed themselves at the top. Non-white people at the bottom is people classified as black, especially at the bottom. So when you're called a nigger, don't get angry. Maybe ask some questions. Maybe ask the person who's calling you that, what is that? Maybe have your own definition for it and maybe ask a question, well, what is that? Do not allow words to cause such a reaction, because that's how the system functions. They've taught us they haven't taught us how to use our minds. That's why we're in the shape that we're in. So when we learn to use our minds and we learn to process information better, not respond with so much emotion or respond with more logic, things will get more and more pleasant for us. And I should meant to say this during the introduction. Like, yeah, the stuff going on in the system, like, it doesn't get any better than tacky on this planet. Like, no matter how perfect a person thinks their life is, no matter how comfortable they think you are, it does not get any better than tacky. So, anxiety, stress, and all the other stuff that you experience on this planet, all of this will be lessened the more you understand racism and white supremacy, what it is, and how it works. When you're able to direct, the majority of your problems are not due to your flaws, but the fact that you were born in a system designed to sabotage and mistreat you in the area of economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war, and any other area of people activity. If you were born and given that designation of not white, and all of these areas of people activity, you are going to be mistreated and sabotaged, and things are going to be way harder and more difficult and complicated for you compared to a white person. So when you understand this, you will have a lot less stress, a lot less anxiety, lower blood pressure. When we attempt to understand racism and white supremacy and we study the works of Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, Dr. Almaston Wilson, Neely Fuller Jr., Bobby Wright, Dr. Barbie Wright, it's a form of therapy you're not gonna get going and sitting down talking to a white person that they call therapy, or talking to a non-white person and they call it therapy, if we're not contextualizing it to reality, what's actually happening here on this planet. Another thing I forgot to start off with was this quote. Like, why are we here? Why are we talking about racism? Because this is what is on the minds of white people 24/7. They're constantly maintaining, refining this system. So we should also be constantly thinking about how can we get them to help us to produce justice, or hey, kill all of us, because this tacky, this tacky, trashy, disgusting situation we have here on this planet it's not gonna fly anymore. Go ahead. Someone wants to chime in before I continue.
Yeah, last point, I just want to get to the code book real quick, just to finish up with this and go on to the next. But, so this is in Area 9. Well, when Mr. Fuller actually starts Area 9, so this is at the bottom of page 359 from the revised edition. He says, white supremacist racists not only enjoy killing non-white people, but they also enjoy terrorizing, confusing, intimidating, brutalizing, depriving, and making fun of the weakness, stupidity, and ignorance of non white people. White supremacists intend to do this forever. So I'll end that. I'll
Forever. Till infinity and beyond, which is why it's seemingly up to the non-white people, the victims, to get serious about solving this problem. So what I'm gonna read, what I forgot to read earlier is it's a quote by Winston Churchill. He says here, I do not apologize for the takeover of the region by the Jews from the Palestinians in the same way I don't apologize for the takeover by the whites from the red Indians or takeover of Australia from the blacks. It is natural for a superior race to dominate an inferior one. All right. This is how white people still think. Nothing has changed. Absolutely nothing has changed here on this planet. It's still, hey, we're white. We've already like conquered you guys like 1,000 years ago. We like just been we took over. We didn't just take your land. We took you. Took your identity, took your innovation, took everything. Like we the Greeks now, we the Egyptians now, took everything. That's what we're dealing with here. This is people have this really confused elementary understanding of racism that is something that happens sometimes or it's very unique incidents and some things aren't racism and some things no most things on this planet relate go back are happening because of racism, white supremacy. And when we understand that, will a lot of the all of the many problems we think we have will probably shrink and go down to just one problem. All my problems are happening because the system, this system. So Winston Churchill, he speaks for white culture. White culture is racism, white supremacy, the mistreatment of non-white people worldwide forever by white people. Um. So yeah, we're moving. So this is, I guess, this is area 8, war from Chud the Builder. Now we are moving into. Actually, I mean, still learning says that only the uncodified become angry at being caught Nika. It's not what you're caught that tells the world how you expect to be treated. It's what you answer to that does. SL, I don't know that initial. The expression of nigger when stated out of frustration is an emotion political designation used to justify the response to their frustration and the follow on actions they choose to take. Yeah, correct. We think because we're called like the N word, the hard R, it justifies any reaction. And we kind of see it as like a. I'm not gonna say we. From my observation, some people seem to see it as, oh, I got called the N word, now I can harm this person. And if they want to use the media power to harm a white supremacist, so be it. But the consequences are probably not going to be pleasant because when it comes to area of law, when you're in this, and it has any risk of a greater confinement of what you know as prison, not pleasant, not worth the risk. Especially if it's only a word. Yeah, moving on to where are we going? Oh, I think we're going. Yes, this is where we're going right here.
This time next week, I am going to my baby shower, and I don't want any women there. I just want their husbands and their sons.
You slept with 1,000 men, not 999, in 12 hours.
Yeah, well, 1,057.
Being pregnant is beautiful, and it's even more beautiful when you have no idea whose DNA is growing inside of you.
I have a baby shower on Saturday, next Saturday, and I'm inviting the public to turn my baby shower into a golden shower.
Feminism gets brought up a lot in it. I think it's actually terrible that women think you shouldn't be found attractive whilst pregnant.
Actually, I don't think we need to see any more to get the gist of what is going on. But yeah, she actually did it. She actually did the golden baby shower or whatever. Not whatever. Um this white supremacist woman known as Bonnie Blue, this yeah, no other I'm not I have no ill feelings towards the white supremacists, and I'm not using these words because I do. It's just simply these are the best words I think to describe her and her behavior. But this massive whore, white supremacist, Bonnie Blue, who is famous for being a whore, famous for being what white people have termed a slut, prides herself on how many people she's allowed to penetrate her. So I did find a video of like not the golden shower part, but just the little games they were playing at the baby shower. And it's just horrific. This is normal, and this is normal only in the psyche and the culture of white people. The problem is they have spread this psyche, their perversions onto non-white people. So much so that we think, hey, this is my idea. I wanted you to urinate on me. This is my idea. No, this is, we want know what a golden shower was, and white people have never put us on them boats. That is for certain. But when you understand white supremacy, and we understand how white people relate to their skin and how they have a disdain for their genetics, truly they have to. This is another thing the system compensates for. It compensates for how they feel about themselves, because a lot of them seemingly hate themselves, and the plastic surgery. I think this creature here, this whore, this giant whore, white supremacist, and I'm calling her a white supremacist because she's promoting getting pissed on is not normal. People should not get pissed on. I'll just say it. She's promoting that, and I also don't think it's normal for any person to have sex with 1,000 people, and probably ever, probably any amount of time. But I could be in there. Yeah, but I don't think young people should know that she exists, but they do, because this is the kind of behavior that we want more of this. We want more non-white people, young non-white people, to think this is normal. So now this person has a baby inside her getting urinated on, and this is what people have their minds on, and not justice. This is better than justice. No, it's not. So why is this happening? Why are we on a planet where a pregnant lady is getting gang banged and pissed on while a baby's inside her? It's because we're in a system of white supremacy and white people don't care about kids. That's why. That's the answer. It's gonna only get worse and more debaucherous. They already have a long record of having sex with animals and whatnot. And yeah, non-white people, we should be like, hey, that's gross. Should not be happening. Produce justice or kill us all. And while you're trying to kill us all, we're gonna do the best to not allow it to happen. Cause yeah, this is not this is I should not have to string together these combination of words ever. But here I am, 2026 on Juneteenth. Um, there's anything else I want to say about what she's a blonde, race code war, Kyrie and Aharo. Please, if you can find that book, Race Code War, you can learn on about what just yeah. I'm gonna pause to see if other folks want to chime in on Bonnie Blue.
For sure. Um, I guess what I wrote down briefly before I go to the word guide. I said I wrote down insanity looked as normal when it comes from the mouth of a white woman. I guess in the clip also she had black males being used as props for her sexual sex diary. And then I also said this is another example of a white person bragging about having so-called lots of I would say not knowing who that the actual dad is. It's so yeah, but that's what I wrote down. Just another white person bragging for just non-correct reasons. So I'll mute there and then I'll read off the terms I thought also um, defined this video. So I'll mute.
She doesn't see a problem. Um, she doesn't see a problem. Justice is not the goal for racists. So um, she doesn't see a problem. She's celebrating. This is how she makes money. She's an actress. She's just in in this field, and they don't care about children anyway. So children are just a means to an end. So all of the deception about women who are pregnant should feel beautiful. Okay, we express that by this. Okay, interesting. She's making money doing this. This gets her plenty of attention. People are talking about it. We are talking about it, and lots of people are opening their wallets, pulling out their credit cards, and paying for her directly or indirectly to do just this because she doesn't see a problem and they don't see a problem. So there's nothing to solve. To them, the problem is she's mistreating herself and this child, and all of those other people are cooperating with it.
Precisely, and I didn't finish my train of thought. Am I confused, or does she have is some does she have a ton of makeup on, as well as her face has been mutilated in the form of some sort of plastic surgery, they call it? Is that what I'm seeing here?
First one, right.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
has on a lot of makeup, and she may have had some, not necessarily surgery, but some sort of procedure done that doesn't require like going to a hospital. Yeah.
Like some sort of
But
injections, because yeah, this looks
yeah, she might have like some sort of injections, might be taking some sort of something, she might be doing some things that don't necessarily require surgery. So,
Mm.
but I see that she's wearing makeup, like her lipstick is over the top of her lip. It looks, let me be quiet.
Okay. Yeah. So Area 8, sex. Non-white people, like before you go to the bedroom, just with anyone. Um. Yeah, I'm not even gonna. Just please go to producejustice.com. Get your copy of the code book. Read the code book. So we can solve this problem. We're gonna move on to. Oh
Uh,
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
real quick, let me just read off I would say the one word God definition that I thought um, was uh, equal to this video. Sexual misconduct. Use this term to apply to to all sexual activity, sexual intercourse, sexual play, etc., that does not directly or indirectly promote thought, speech, and/or action that proves effective in helping to replace white supremacy racism with justice. And yes, she has had plastic surgery, Botox, and so-called lip fillers. So yeah.
Of course, of course. Well, thank you for sharing that bit from the code, and of course, she's a practicer, a practicer of that white supremacist behavior pattern known as self-mutilation. They call it plastic surgery, but it's just that expression of, hey, I don't like how I look. Actually hate how I look, and I hate it so much I'm gonna pay someone to chop my face up or whatever. Moving on.
Death of a 1-year-old at the hands of police. Protesters met with tear gas outside the Mississippi Walmart where the incident took place, demanding justice for Cohen Wiley. According to investigators, the shooting on Sunday happened when Senatobia police responded to a shoplifting call involving 2 adults and a child. One witness telling a local reporter of the 2 adults, one was carrying the boy, the other a box of diapers.
Policeman shot, open fire in a public setting over allegedly some Pampers.
Authorities say the adults, now identified by the family's lawyer as the boy's mother and her friend, tried to get away, driving toward and nearly hitting an officer. Another officer then firing at the car. The boy's mother says she tried to communicate to police that a child was in the vehicle.
I raised my baby up trying to show them that he was in the car. By the time I set my baby down, it was like 3 to 4 shots. One of the shots hit him in his rib cage, and the other shots hit her in her arm and her thigh.
Cohen was pronounced dead at a hospital while the driver had critical injuries, according to the Mississippi Bureau of Investigations, which is now handling the case.
To make no mistake, this is a very tragic situation. I would ask that the public maintain patience as much as possible. And I know this is a very frustrating time, but maintain patience as this process is done.
Attorney Ben Crump now representing the family and saying in a statement, we intend to seek justice for baby Cohen and the life that was stolen from him. Protesters now calling for accountability and transparency.
So they're just questions that need to be asked, need to be answered, video that needs to be reviewed, and to actually see what it says. Go with the evidence.
Great. The lady at the end asking, yes. Great suggestion. Let's see. Let's see the video. Let's see. And the system of white supremacy, the life of a black child is worth less than I don't know the material used to make Pampers. I'm sure some sort of paper material, but yeah, black child life worth less than a box of diapers. Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, this reminds me of a quote. I think it's from the movie Maybe it's from Man on Fire. A Life for a Life, I think. Maybe it's from that movie. But yeah, whoever like shot the baby should be in greater confinement forever. Um, there's a lot that we can that I'm gonna that I observed from this clip. The pitiful state that a lot of non-white people are in. The system is not a place that allows many of us to thrive. The few of us that are thriving, um, some of us are thriving maybe because our very, very much hard work, but at the end of the day, we're thriving because enough white people gave us gave us that opportunity, that ability. For most non-white people, that doesn't happen. Most non-white people are not taught what they need to know to so-called thrive on this planet. So they live in environments where they may not even be stealing. You know, I don't know if this black lady was stealing diapers, you know, but they live in environments where, hey, you people, you probably are stealing, so we're gonna treat you as such. Anyways, black child who could have been a person who could have been a baby to cure cancer. That baby could have had so much potential. Erased, gone forever. And this happens every day. Hundreds of thousands of black children literally die or die mentally, living an existence where they will never know, wow, all this horrible stuff happened to me because I'm black, because I was born in a system of white supremacy. My life sucked because I was born into a system that white people created and designed for me to get treated like shit. You know, instead of them knowing that, they're gonna, oh, my life sucks because I have a horrible family and they suck. They mistreat me and just like, but just blame ourselves and each other and not the people who should be blamed. But yes, Christine, well, this is also great advice. This is from the code book. Stop stealing. That is one of the 10 basic stops um to learn about all the 10 basic stops. Please get your own copy of the code book or check out our broadcast book study on the code book. The United Independent Compensatory Code System Concept by Neely Foley Jr. But yeah, we lost I didn't. A child was lost. Baby shot. Like, look, a baby. We live on a planet where a baby is shot. This is so tacky and gross and terroristic. Actually, it's not. It's terroristic. We're far past tacky. Terroristic. A life for a life. That's it. Go ahead.
No, no, you good. Um, I guess what I wrote down was if you, if you protest, just expect something to go wrong. Um, also by this being over some Pampers, is that correct?
Yep. Yep. Allegedly.
Okay. All right. I'll just go straight to the word God. Child. You reason according to compensatory counter-racist logic, all non-white people or the persons are children as long as they are subject to the system of white supremacy racism. So by this being escalated to some small as Pampers, yeah, tragic, 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 tragic. So, oh, and lastly, I said different day, and then now a child did for no reason. So I'll mute.
Yeah, and Christine Williams.
The
Yeah, go ahead, Miss Action.
the child is in a system, was in a system where the people in charge don't care about children. These same people allow schools of white children to be shot up. Uh, Children who are supposed to be there to learn, white children, mind you, to learn, and they get shot up. So we as Black people need to understand if they're willing to sacrifice their own children, why would we? And I'm not blaming anybody because we have been lied to, deceived, and manipulated into situations that force us to do things that so-called give white supremacists reasons to mistreat us, to abuse us, and to murder us. The stealing was alleged. Um, the mother of the baby was not accused of stealing and was allowed to go, was not arrested because she was not the one who was stopped. It was the driver. Why would the driver, who is not the mother of the child, be stealing Pampers and be allowed to leave? And it did not make sense that the police officer saying that the car was, see, things are not adding up in the story. And so in this system, people in charge are allowed to lie to you, to manipulate you, to get you to do things so that they can give themselves reason to mistreat you, even though they a lot of times don't have a real reason to mistreat you. Nobody should be mistreated. Nobody should be murdered, and especially not over diapers. So if these people don't care about their own children, will rape and murder their own children, why would we think that they would value the lives of any Black child? They don't. Please do as much as you can to keep your Black children away from these people so that you can teach them about this system and give them a way, a code, something to help defend themselves against it. Because this is this is terrible. This is unacceptable, and this needs to stop. And whoever shot that baby needs to compensate this family. And I'm talking about more than money. They, yes, they do need to be in jail, and they need to apologize to that baby. And I'm not going to go into what that means.
From Christine Williams says, the baby, like the loss of a baby boy is very traumatic. The mother deserves much sympathy. And I agree. I don't even know how she was able to talk in the to the news reporter. I don't know. Yeah, very traumatic. Maybe she's in shock still. Maybe she hasn't processed that her baby was shot while she was carrying him. Um, yeah, but the loss of a child is super traumatic, and just another thing I want to share from the chat from Still Learning. And this adds to like why protests, from my observations, is just non-constructive. Like, yeah, it's non-constructive. But Still Learning. And the statement, no justice, no peace, there has been plenty of no justice. What has no peace looked like? It looks like, I think, our everyday subjugation, our everyday existence, our like, that's, yep. And yeah, super lame. Super lame. Yeah. For everyone for anyone who thinks that um the attempted business of counter racism is too docile or too um courteous, about trying to solve this race problem because the solution is justice, guaranteeing no one is allowed to be mistreated and the person who needs help the most receives constructive help. That's what we're here begging for, pleading with the system, the masters of the system, to allow us and help us to bring to this planet. We're trying to use our words and our actions to achieve this. Um, but yeah, there are other suggestions that may be more motivational that can be found in the code book, specifically probably area. All of the areas really give us great suggestions. But for people who say, well, if we can't protest, then what can we do? Well, go get the code book and read area 9. Yeah, read area 9. And moving on, where are we going next? I should X these out so I know what we covered. All right, this is very interesting. Is it gonna play? Yeah, this person. I just thought this was fascinating because this person is probably still alive. I'm not gonna play the sound. But yeah, Tyler Brown. You know, is just he's alive. It's white. He's only alive because he's white. Any non-white, any black person eviscerated with bullets, vaporized with bullets immediately. But hey, you're white. You can literally shoot with an AR rifle down the street, and come out unscathed. White power. Now this is white power. This is what it means to be white. Yeah, I'm not even gonna say much else. You guys could go research this. Tyler Brown. You guys do your research and find out more about this. I just thought this is very interesting. Find me any clip of a black male. Find me any clip of a black male or black female doing this and surviving. Any clip. So moving on. What is very fascinating is this next clip.
Oh, stop this. Go.
Damn, y'all seen the bullet holes in the windshield? He was most definitely trying to smoke some. Most of these cops ain't never had to shoot their gun. So if you know what you doing with that bitch, don't be so fucking scared of these police. They really do not be on shit.
Okay. Now the clip is, I don't care about the race soldiers almost getting killed by whoever they almost got killed by. That's what they signed up for. They have fun getting in shootouts and chasing down bad guys and getting in shootouts with bad guys. They have fun doing that. If they die doing it, I don't give a shit. Excuse my European tongue. But this race soldier right here who's the epitome of ghetto. And when you hear the word ghetto, you should think of a white person. No one black should come in your mind. Should be a white person, because they are the original ghetto, tacky, trashy people. But it's what this white supremacist is saying. He's saying, hey, the cops aren't really that tough. Shoot them, kill them. Like that's what he's saying. Like that's what I interpret him saying. I'm like, so this white supremacist thug is telling people to shoot the cop. That's not a good idea at all. That's not good advice. But white supremacists aren't in the business of giving constructive advice. They want to create chaos and create problems. And if any non-white person were to listen to this loser's advice, this white supremacist slime advice, they would surely die or end up in greater confinement forever and ever. So, and this guy has a bunch of clips. This guy, and there's a ton of these channels and these white supremacists who are very, very ghetto thugs promoting this nonsense. So I don't even know how I came across this clip, but I'll pause and see if folks want to chime in.
Well, I mean, I see this a lot on TikTok, so this is not like too shocking when someone plays a clip and there's a white person pretty much just practicing deception on like so-called giving ideas or suggestions on how to operate around certain individuals who are cops. Um, I guess another a term to describe this video: fraud. uh, Notes: the most useful weapon employed by racist man and racist woman, white supremacists collectively, is deception. Racists often use violence of deceit to confuse and subjugate their victims, not white people. Fraud, deceit, when used by a white supremacist racist against a victim of racism, is a form of indirect violence. Is it correct to, oh, sorry, is it correct to regard it as such? So that's how I see this white person giving so-called suggestions to how to operate around using weapons on law enforcement. So I'll meet there.
Yeah. And
Another actor getting
yeah,
paid
go
to
ahead.
cause sorry. Another actor getting paid to cause chaos. Just it is what it is. He wants yeah. He wants to get paid and at the same time he wants well, the result is I don't know what he wants. Uh somebody's gonna follow his advice and it's not gonna go how they think it's gonna go. And it's gonna cause problems.
And just to counteract this stupid individual on the screen, how the code says you should interact with law enforcement. Don't fight, don't fuss, don't flee. And what I've added to this, and what my add-on for myself, if I die, I won't be surprised because I know what kind of planet I'm on, and like the code, I follow the aspect of the code that says, "Hey, leave your house, your dwelling, prepared to kill or die." You know, that's that. We're in a war. Racism is a war. We're being warred upon. We have goofballs like this telling people they should shoot law enforcement. It's just not. This planet has never been safe for non-white people when white people took over. So yeah, producejustice.com. Get your copy of the code book. Okay. So this got taken down. This was just a clip of a little league baseball game. You know, all white people, and the um long story, like an adult throws like a bat or a pitch in the crowd, and it's just white on white violence, but also kids. White people don't care about kids. That's that. Um, these ball games, sports, um, yeah, they are given so much importance in this system, and that is a, should be evidence of how much how our minds have been reduced to such a state where like we care about sports so much that we behave like white people in regards to sports. The white people are really the ones who like need sports. They use sports to satiate that competitive need to dominate and control and win and feel like a winner and have an opponent and have an enemy, have someone you want to take out and kill and destroy and plot again. That's what sports is all about. You know, destroying your opponent. This is why when white people, it's not just a game, it's like life or death. You know, this is why when their game, the team wins, riots and chaos on the streets every year. It's happening with happened with the Knicks, whatever, winning the championships, and you got black females twerking on light poles while being attacked by a white woman, well, but no one's helping her. And I hope people have seen this clip. I'm not gonna show it on YouTube, but there's a clip: black female twerking on a light pole while a white lady is attacking her. After she's done twerking, ass out and everything, she gets down and she beats the hell out of the white woman, as she should have. But during that clip, I noticed no one helping her while she was being attacked by the white woman, which is like evident and like how the system functions. You know, we have not been programmed to help each other. We have not been programmed to have any dignity. So if you don't have dignity, you're not going to be able to help yourself, let alone help people who look like you. So a lot of work needs to be done with ourselves, with our minds. And one of that is like, hey, I don't give a fuck about who's playing the game. I don't care about the Knicks. I don't care. I don't care about sports. I care about them because I like to be healthy and athletic and like fit. But I'm not watching the ball game. I'm not going to the bar with you to watch a ball game. It's a waste of time. Read a book. Like it's a waste of time. Yep. And I hate that I have to use this amount of breath to discuss sports. But in this culture of white supremacy, they're so popular, so disgustingly popular. But if you understand white people and how they use them, it makes sense. I'll pause there. I know we got some people who are more sports knowledgeable than I am.
Well, I mean, I haven't seen the clip, so, but I think if I did, I mean, it's just like, chimping out, as, as they would call other black people, about them not getting a correct call. And, boom, they'll start cursing at the umpire. So, whether I didn't see the clip or if I did see it, I can already describe what it already probably was. But yeah, that's that's my 2 cents on it.
No comment, just a waste of time in my opinion.
Thank you. Yeah, it is. But it's just you gotta meet the people where they are, and people are really indoctrinated and infatuated with ball games. It is truly tragic. Truly tragic. But going back into the Mississippi incident with the black male child being executed by a race soldier, Still Learning pointed out. I believe the store stated the accused made the purchase. Mr. Fuller said, "Don't fight, don't fuss, don't flee. The attempt to flee may have been what resulted in a child's death." Yep, that's correct. That is correct. From Still Learning, all sports are forms of modified warfare. To be a sports fan is to pledge allegiance to a team for their performance in history. Racism, white supremacy is war. The 9 areas are the playing field. Yep. Yep. Being mistreated and dominated in all areas of people activity. That is how this war manifests how it functions. Chud the Builder is a soldier. Bonnie Blue is a soldier. These white children on TikTok calling black children monkeys and all this stuff, they are soldiers because we are being warred upon from every direction through media, everything, just through everything. It all comes back to the system. And the more non white people who understand this, the closer we are to solving this problem. So as the system refines and refines, it only means refinement usually means it's gonna get worse for most people on the planet, especially non-white people. This lady, um, first of all, one bedroom for $2,500. This is just insane. But yeah, you're not supposed to be comfortable in this system. You're supposed to have just enough. Actually, you're not supposed to have just enough. You're supposed to. You're a victim of racism. You get what victim of racism gets. So she's already paying a insane amount of money for her dwelling, and now with this tech, everything wants to be a smart device, or the white people want everything to be a smart device because they can have greater control over that device, and with that being the case, greater control over what you are doing, what you're allowed to do. So she has to like they if she doesn't pay her subscription, she can't get in her dwelling. I'm like, yeah, this is some um just evil technological advancements that are gonna just make existing in this system just even worse. And just it already sucks being here. We got babies being shot. We got Chud the Builder, Mason people. We got just the whole Palestinians getting eviscerated. There's just a bunch of what's going on in Sudan. We're gonna talk about that too, but this part already sucks, and now I have to. Now, if I don't pay my subscription, the key that I use to get into the house I pay rent for won't work. Yeah, it's a meme, but it's a real quote, and it's happening before our eyes. You know, you will own nothing, you will be happy, and I think when they say happy, they say you will be distracted with all the entertainment we're gonna push out because if you're not distracted, you're gonna be miserable. Um, because geesh, this sucks. Um, yeah, I actually put this. Actually, I don't think I'm allowed to put links in the chat. I don't think they work. But yeah, I'm not gonna read this, but I will put it in chat. Maybe it works, maybe it does not. But Black Mirror, they call it. I'm gonna pause. Any thoughts on this?
I guess the term in the word God rules. So, and the word God is actually three terms: rules, regulations, and the rules of war, etc. Mr. Fuller asked for not only to avoid using these terms, but in the reason section, he says racist man and racist woman have often used these words in a manner that is intended to frustrate and confuse their victims. What they may be, what may be called as rule, rule of thumb, regulation, etc., when applied to a white person, may be regarded as a law. When applied to a non-white person, white supremacists may sometimes use the terms constitutional law and or supreme law to mean something either exactly alike or very different from the terms administrative law, administrative rules, administrative policies, etc. During the existence of white supremacy racism, some words sometimes are expected to have the effect of laws without those words actually being used, being called laws. Instead, they are called bulletins, memoranda, notices, etc. So based on the highlight of the actual article by her having to still pay for a subscription, just use her own key. Yeah, I think that term defines what she's dealing with. So I'll leave there.
Yeah, it doesn't get any better than tacky, and you will own nothing and you will be happy. Klaus Schwab. Thank you, still learning. Um, oh man. So the problem is white people, white men, white women, and white children. It's always been them, always will be them, while the concept of a white person is allowed to exist. I shouldn't have to call myself black. I am forced to refer to myself as a black person. But I've simply been racially classified as black, and I have that awareness. Um, it would be exhausting explaining, hey, I'm not actually black. I have been racially classified as black by the system of white supremacy. My racial classification only exists so they could treat me like a nigga, so I could be placed in the right school programs that don't teach me shit, the right school programs that, hey, I'm gonna be allowed to fool around and not learn anything and just, from school straight to prison because I just nigga behavior. This is the only reason we are called black. Them over there, yeah, they're the ones the system is designed to reduce and to what we've been made here on 2026. The people you see twerking on the light pole, the young black children who are going out and shooting each other, these are the people who have been conditioned and taught by people like this person we're going to read about. This white man, you know. So it says here, a Texas fire department appears to be keeping his mouth shut online after one of its own got arrested. He is accused of bringing an AR-style weapon to a community pool during a child's birthday party. Kevin Brown. All right. So let's. Oh, this is just a little TikTok. We don't need to watch this. We don't need to watch this. But we've been saying this a lot. White people do not care about children. You guys maybe have seen this on TikTok. I don't use TikTok. Trust in God says we are still slaves. Yep, that's why we're here. We're trying to not be slaves. Only way to not be slaves is to eliminate the system of white supremacy and replace it with a system of justice. So, yeah, that's the solution. Until then, we are slaves. Every non-white person on this planet, from Jay-Z, Obama to the homeless guy living in the RV under the bridge. If you got color in your skin, you're a slave. Yes, correct. So this person is like what's important here? This person is a so-called fire. Wait, is he a firefighter? I don't want to give the wrong advice. Is he a firefighter or is he just a white guy with a gun? Ba, ba, ba. Oh, one of his own.
It
Oh,
said he was with a
yeah. He works with the fire.
fire department.
Yeah, exactly. He's a firefighter. Okay, this person is supposed to be helping people, but his wife. So the story is his wife got like upset. Hey, it's just too many black people in this pool. Like it's grossing me out. You people grossing me out. You guys are black. Got that color in your skin. It's grossing me out. Can you go away? They didn't want to go away, so she's ghetto, she's tacky, she's trashy, she's a white supremacist, so she gets those things. She gets tacky, trashy, ghetto, belligerent. Her husband comes out with the burner, with the assault rifle. Let's see if I know I'm not gonna. No, we're not. It's just Don't need to do that. So that's what happened, and I will read some of what the lady who reported it said. But that lady ruined her husband's career. Hope he doesn't get hired on at any other department due to his poor judgment of bringing an AR to a kid's pool party because his nagging wife couldn't just walk away and mind her own. Yeah, but like, other thing we should understand that like we are white people's business. They have, it's part of the practice of racism is surveilling, knowing what non-white people are up to, and being able to say, "Yeah, I don't like that. You can't do that. You go away. You're not allowed here. You're not allowed there. Go away." You know, they don't have to have any so-called position of authority to do that. You know, this lady, she's not like she didn't work at the pool. She's just some white lady, some white supremacist who's trying to wield her white power. And luckily for the victims involved, no one was slain by AR. And even though he's gonna get a slap on the wrist and he'll be right back to mistreating non-white people while he's being a firefighter at no time, I am sure. At least today, no one was seemingly harmed too much. Any thoughts? Yeah, no worry. We can keep it pushing.
Why do we need the gun for children at a pool party? Oh, they're just little Negro children. They need to be terrorized because they terrorized me. That's, I don't know, just very strange. Why do you need an AR-15 to deal with children at a gym, at a pool? Excuse me. Very strange behavior.
Very. And keeping in line with that, it's another incident. It's always pools. White people, black people, pools. You know, it's always a problem. Will always be a problem while racism exists.
Stop it. You're touching me. Excuse me. Excuse me. I need help. Oh, dude. You're pushing me. Yeah, because this ain't safe for me. Your friend. Okay, so we can talk to you. The guy right there that's pointing at you. Yeah? You got your hand? I didn't touch you. You touched me. It is a public place. This is a public. Do you know what you're talking about?
I don't. We don't need to watch all of it. It's just a white person. He's like, hey, you guys are not. You guys, whatever you're doing, you're not doing it anymore. I'm white. I'm stopping you. I'm blocking you. You're not. You guys aren't going past me. You know, that's what's going on. White power. He's practicing his white power. Let's see if they ever get past that. If they're able to break through his white power, we can at least see that much.
Oh yeah, I'm about to say just go down and just go up these steps. It's a fast line.
It does not look like they got past. But commendable that the black males did not aggress upon the white man like the white man aggressed upon them. But yeah, just tacky. It doesn't get any better than tacky, you know. Like now, if this family was all like codified and constructed, they all would have like looked at the white man, all just probably just started laughing, just all laughed at his face, or responded with silence, or just had a better response than we saw there. Um, yeah. No, okay. Yeah, this is I'm not gonna waste our time discussing this. Another
I
white
guess to
horror.
be
Another white horror. Go ahead.
uh, brief on the previous video. Um, again, being that that's in Pennsylvania, and it's in Langhorne, Pennsylvania. The demographics in that area, it's approximately 82 to 90% white. So they're already in a dangerous environment, whether or not it's at a water park, which is Sesame Place. I think I've been there one time, but I mean I was a real young kid, man. So I think like 7 years old, 8 years old. Oh, and then also in the video, someone did say that they were being harassed. So um, uh, let me see. Can I go to the word down real quick? So yeah, harassment. Guess I'll just read the last part. Oh, it is very easy to accuse a person of harassment, and when considering the intention of those who are in a position to make the most powerful decisions, harassment can be very easy or very difficult to prove. So I'll just end it with that.
Thank you. Now, I'm not gonna play any of this clip because it's just I know YouTube will just like zap this channel away. But just please, just like for the folks who are finding this broadcast after the fact, or people right now, if you use Twitter, I don't use Twitter. But luckily you have attempted counter racists who shared this clip with me. But this clip involves a black male being confronted by an intoxicated white supremacist wielding a gun that he keeps cocking, um, while also calling the black male a nigger over and over, like shoving the gun on him, pushing him, shoving him. And the black male is very calm, very much understanding that hey, I'm probably in danger. Let me not. Let me try to keep things calm. But the white supremacist starts getting way too aggressive, and the black male is able to take the gun from the white supremacist and I think beat the shit out of him with it, which was so very constructive, very awesome clip, very pleasant. What if you could? I guess if you use this horrible app called Twitter, um, you can go to this guy's page at C Racist, I guess. You can find the clip. Um, but yeah, if you are ever in a situation where there's a white supremacist with a gun in your proximity, my suggestion is to get away and get away if you can as soon as possible. Um, but yeah, I also think unfortunately this black male was experiencing Area 7 confusion, religion confusion. But nonetheless, because I don't know if folks on the panel have seen this clip, so I'm just gonna keep it pushing. You guys interrupt me if you want to chime in.
Nope, haven't seen the clip, but I am familiar with the Twitter page.
Gross. Just this
Yeah.
is the worst website ever. God, I hate Twitter. All right. Yeah, back to you see, like we are taught to have such a high esteem for these are our firemen, our law enforcement. But if you're less confused about racism, white supremacy, and you understand how this system works, you're like, what? A firefighter, uh, a police officer? I was supposed to give more esteem to these people for what? For what? For doing a job they signed up to do? Yeah. Yeah, no. Former Everman deputy fire chief sentenced to life in prison for orchestrating violent home invasion rape. All right, is there like an audio? No, there isn't. But what we know, Joe Jones, 54, pleaded guilty to aggravated sexual assault. It took jurors approximately 20 minutes to hand down the life sentence after hearing testimony regarding the February 2025, February 21st, 2025 attack. One man's depravity was on full display this week in the Tarrant County Courthouse. Tarrant County District Attorney Phil Sorrells said in a statement. But the backstory. Prosecutors said that at the time of the crime, Jones served as a deputy with chief of the Everman Fire Department. Evidence presented at trial showed that Jones recruited Tobasia Griffins, 31, through a dating website to carry out the assault, falsely telling him the encounter was a consensual fantasy. According to court documents, Griffins entered the victim's home and bedroom on the night of the attack and assaulted her. The victim, a devout Catholic, fought back by striking her attacker with a lamp and managed to escape by convincing him to let her use the restroom, at which point she fled the house. After the victim returned home and locked her doors, she called Jones, who then contacted 911 and feigned support for her, despite having engineered the assault. Wait, did he do this to his wife or what? What? Investigators discovered that Jones had instructed Griffins to record the sexual assault, which he did. Within days of the initial attack, Jones attempted to arrange for the woman to be kidnapped and raped again. Prosecutors stated that Jones specifically wanted to break the victim and strip her of faith that anchored her. What they're saying, there is evil in our world and it's sitting right there. District Attorney Kim. All right. Wow. Okay, so from what I'm understanding, this white man found a black male, deceived the black male, and said, "Hey, I know this is gonna be weird, but it's all cool. Trust me, it's cool. You're gonna go into this lady's house. She has a rape fantasy. That's her kink, right? She wants to be raped by a black man. So you're gonna go in there, and then you know it's all consensual. You're not gonna get in trouble." The black male being confused, and most black males on this planet, if you are like myself and you have well, not like myself, because I've done a little studying about the system of racism, white supremacy, what it is and how it works, but a lot of black males have not. And for the black males who have not done a bit of studying about racism, white supremacy, what it is and how it works, these black males can present behavior patterns and thinking patterns that are simply very stupid. You know, maybe this white guy, and I think this white guy is a master deceiver for sure. But to be convinced to do something like this is insane. But that is why they call it awesome white power. So, and this is the time he's been caught. I can imagine Joe Jones and his earlier days, kicking in doors himself and just raping them, raping people. I'm sure I would bet my meager existence on it that him and his white boys have definitely kicked in some doors, plotted on some white ladies, and just had their fun back in the day. Yeah, piece of shit should die. Should not exist. You know, people, white supremacists should not exist. If you're a white supremacist, you should not exist. You do not deserve the air that the creator allows us to breathe every day. And if you're a person who if you're a person who doesn't believe that justice should be on this planet, you're also a person who shouldn't exist. Because until we have justice, this stuff will continue. We're going to continue to have white people raping everybody on the planet. Just raping everybody, raping them, destroying them forever. This is Yep, and this only stops when an effective number of non-white people are brave enough to tell the truth. You know, focus on things that matter. Like, what's going on with all these white people raping everybody, and why and like what does this Jeffrey Epstein file say about society, say about white culture? And what can I do as a non-white person that does not involve voting, doesn't involve protesting or boycotting? Well, what can I do with my thought, my speech, and my behavior? Miss Action, Mr. Monsoon, any thoughts?
Stay off of dating apps.
What's the name of the book? Time to Kill, or what's the name of the
Oh
book?
yeah, I knew it. Program to
Program to
Kill.
Kill.
Every broadcast has got to come
Yeah,
up. Program to Kill. Yep.
just
Oh,
this is what he has done. From birth.
I got the
This
camera
is
on
what he has
actually.
trained to.
I'm gonna block this because I'm getting. But yeah, Program to Kill. Actually, the next clip is I was gonna mention it for the next bit of information. Yeah, there was another person we were supposed to. We're actually missing something here. We're missing because we're missing. Yeah, we're missing something here. Let me. There was a and we have this in like. Yeah, here we go. All right. Yeah, this is all stuff is pretty recent too. All right, are we gonna have to do more reading? It's just fine. Nothing wrong with reading. Georgia teacher accused of sex with 6 students had OnlyFans account was recorded in Jesus Loves You sweater, according to the cops. A Georgia science teacher accused of molesting 6 teenagers had an OnlyFans account, and students who knew about it allegedly blackmailed her for better grades, according to news court documents. All right, that's all I'm gonna read. You guys, this is all I'm gonna read. Rapist white woman, but this reveals a lot. This reveals a lot. So, white women are also rapists for sure. They and if I tell people just Google teacher sexual assault, and it's always going on, and majority of the time it is white teachers, white man, white woman. The greatest, the biggest deadbeat moms, the biggest deadbeat fathers, the greatest mistreaters and rapists of children are white people. This is behavior patterns unique to their culture. Not caring about children, using children for sexual gratification. This is unique to their culture. They've only convinced very, very confused, non-white people that we do that too. No, when we do this stuff, we're just copying them. We're copying our white masters because we've been taught to love them so much that we want to be them. And to be them means to do all the evil, stupid, deranged, vile stuff that they do. So when you see a non-white person doing things that are incorrect, they're just acting white. When you see a non-white person harming another person, a non-white person is acting like their masters. They're acting white. Anywho, this is very common. But what's interesting here is that the students knew. So students knew that this was going on. Students knew, hey, my teacher, she's like literally raping the others. She's literally raping my classmates. I know that's not correct. But hey, I'm also white, so I don't give a shit. So you can give me a better grade and we keep this cool. But if you don't, I'm gonna tell some white people on you and you're gonna get in a little trouble. You're white, so it's not gonna be that bad. But so that's interesting. The students who knew, instead of telling, they blackmailed her, quote unquote blackmailed her. Race Cold War, Kyrie and O'Hara to learn all that you more interesting information about the words we use on this planet. Blackmail, all that stuff. I'll pause. Any comments?
She looks diseased.
A white woman rapist. Trying to find the term right now, but yeah, I mean, another Mary Kay Letourneau.
Lady, where are we going next? Shout out to everybody in the chat for hanging out with us and for attempting to bring clarity to um the confusion to the individual who may be experiencing um confusion. Thank you for attempting to help that person. Yeah, speaking of the Jews, I guess, from the chat, we literally only have to watch like a minute of it. This is like a hour long video. But we literally only have to watch less than a minute to get the gist of what's going on.
ما فيش كان إلنا رحمة يعني اللي شفناه ما حد شافه في العالم كله.
All charges against 5 soldiers accused of sexually abusing a Palestinian detainee at the Sdi Tayman military prison in July 2024 have been dropped.
Soldiers committing acts of sexual violence against Palestinians.
They were raped, often more than once.
Including minors.
طبعاً كانت الظروف سيئة لدرجة ما حدا بتوقعها.
Simply the lives of Palestinian children, it's worthless.
The use of animals, the use of dogs.
I never thought we will come to this.
Teresa
policy.
It approves rape, it approves torture.
She was taken to Sdi Tayman and she was nude searched over and over again and filmed, and then she was raped twice by Israeli male soldiers, 2 of them at a time.
אירוע בשדה תימן גרם לנזק תדמיתי עצום למדינת ישראל ולצבא ההגנה לישראל ולחיילים שלה.
Alrighty, so what's happening to the non-white people known as the Palestinians? Now I'm not white, so I really don't know who's white and not white unless you look like me. I kind of got an idea. But I do know what's happening to the people known as the Palestinians should not be happening to them. But hey, program to kill, this is a global system, which is why we have like thousands of miles away in the area of the world known as Israel, children still being raped, captured, kidnapped, and subjected to horrific things that should not be happening. And yeah, this is going to go on forever. Like rape is so normal in white culture. It's just like they don't give it. Like the desert whites, the desert white supremacists, like they just they because you gotta understand rape as a form of showing like your power, your dominance, showing that you have total control. And maybe if you're a sadistic, sick loser who should not even be alive in the first place, maybe that's some sort of like ultimate like gratification. I can't relate. But just to see the politicians say, "Hey, if he's non-white Palestinian, yes, he could get raped. They could rape him. Who gives a shit? Hey, this is our land. It was promised to us by whatever. It's just no person on the planet has the right to rape anybody. And if your God says that, you and your God should probably be dead. You and your God should die. If your God approves rape, if your God approves unjust killing, you guys should kill each other. The world would be a better place. Probably. I could be an error. But it's just sick that for me, I could be wrong. Maybe I'm the only insane person. Maybe the book club members are the only insane people and everyone else is just normal. Maybe we're the outliers. Maybe we're weird for thinking this should not be happening. I don't know. This is how confusing and maddening the system is. I think what I'm seeing here should not be happening, but because it's so common and the average person seemingly does not care, maybe I don't know. I'm gonna pause there to get my thoughts in order. Folks want to chime in?
This will just real quick. Yeah, minors, dogs, culture, all forms of white culture. So that's what I wrote down. Not not surprised at all.
Trusting God says it's only going to get worse and more confusing. I agree. And trusting God says, yeah, that's insane to say a person should die. I agree, and I also have to admit that unfortunately, due to my predicament of being in an insane system, I think I am also insane. I think everyone on this planet is functionally insane. I am just a little less insane to be aware of my insanity. Yep. So, and hey, I live on a planet where people say where people say you should die for mistreating a dog. So, hey, I think it's very logical to think the people who enjoy killing, the people who want to do the killing, these people they should die. They should not exist. I think it's very logical. If you enjoy killing, the person who should be dead is you. I'm pretty sure that's actually in a code book. It's one of the quotes at the end of the book. Yeah. And not unfortunately, yeah, evil white supremacists. If you can't stop being a white supremacist, the only other solution is you no longer exist. I think that's very logical. Any more before I move on to the next clip? Yeah, what's going on? The Iran Palestinian, I see it as white on non-white or white on white. Depends on if the Iranians are non-white or white. But I'm not really in the business of saying who's white or non-white. I just see people blowing up each other. Probably shouldn't be happening. Probably shouldn't be happening. I have to get this clip. I found this clip. Oh, I guess we'll just go to this other I think this is a good one to discuss as well, really quickly.
I bet you are.
I'm not.
What if I jumped out and took it from you?
You would die.
What if I jumped out and took it from you? Oh, you got one, man? Yeah. No, I was just kidding.
Nah.
I was just kidding. I was talking to you.
Okay, so what was happening here? White man stalking, preying on a black female. He probably thought, hey, I'm in this Dodge Charger. I'm a white guy. Of course she's gonna want to talk to me, but it didn't go the way he wanted. So he got more aggressive, and he's like, what if I raped you, basically? What if I took it from you? And then she says you would die. And luckily she was armed, and she showed that she was armed, and he ceased his approach. So if you have the means, the will to become a firearm owner and get your CC license, I think that's a great idea for non-white people to be packing, because I'm sure the majority of non-white, my bad, the majority of white people I cross paths with, I'm sure a lot of these people are just itching for any sort of conflict, so they can reveal that yes, I am armed and I was ready to use it. So non-white people should follow suit, learn how to use a gun, stop being afraid to learn how to use guns. You know, don't go about it the illegal way and be walking around with a Glock with an extended mag on it, not even know how to shoot it properly. So yeah, let's get more serious. She seems serious, constructive. 5 constructive thumbs up for this black female not being aggressed upon violently by this white man. Any thoughts?
Good for her.
Self-defense.
Self-defense.
Okay, so we should all know by now that Carmelo Anthony was given like 20, 30 years in greater confinement for killing Austin Metcalf, or whatever the white boy name was. Okay, Shango shared some really interesting thoughts regarding this situation. I thought was very interesting. I was going this is this is the only thing I'm going to share probably about that situation. But for those who don't know, Carmelo Anthony was a track athlete at a track meet who was seeking shelter from the heat. He was invited to a canopy.
Rain.
Yeah, he was invited to a tent where Austin was hanging out at. Austin was like, nah, you can't be here. Carmelo Anthony, they got aggressive. Carmelo Anthony stabbed him. He died. So that's my understanding of what happened. Okay, Shango says, when an invader attempts to colonize the space lands of another people, it is up to those people to defend and protect their space. If those people who have been invaded intend that space as their own, canopy tent, and it just goes to show that. It seems to me that Austin Metcalf understood as well as acted according to the cultural history of white people all over the world and refused to allow Carmelo Anthony to do that white space. Wait, and refused to allow Carmelo Anthony to do that white space, the same things that white people have done to other people's spaces all over this earth. As a defender of white declared spaces, Austin gave his life to do just what he was assigned to do. As an invader colonizer who was armed, Carmelo Anthony was not properly prepared to take control of that white declared space, so to declare it a black space. Land belongs to those who can defend and protect it. What I wrote was a comparison analogy of my understanding of how nation societies function. I could be in error. So, yeah, in the macrocosm, we just have like black male, killed a white man. Now he's facing serious consequences. Hopefully, he's out of greater confinement sooner than later. But there's no such thing as black nation, black country, Asian countries. Like just white people have took over the entire planet. Every so-called nation is forced to get on the program, you know, to open their borders and let white people dictate the finances and all this stuff. I'll just go there. I'll just end there because yeah. It's really not hard to realize and to see, especially on a continent. If that was actually our continent and we were able to benefit from what's in our continent, all the minerals in our continent, Sudan, the Congo wouldn't be experiencing what they're experiencing over there. They wouldn't be hopping on boats trying to get to these European countries. I actually gotta find an article. Where is it? I'll try to find it before we head out. I know I had it up earlier. Let me see if I can find it real quick. All right, I can't find it. I don't want to spend too much time looking for it either. So we do have a final clip. Yeah. And this is how this, yeah, we're going to watch and observe the report.
After 72 hours behind bars, Merlin Liu, the man prosecutors say admitted to burning the cross in Grant Park, left the Cook County Jail. But we had questions about his actions that day. Do you have anything to say to the city of Chicago and the fear and emotions that you evoked by burning that cross?
In terms of the fear that I've evoked, I've already apologized, and I'm going to apologize sincerely again right now.
That apology is not enough for prosecutors who charge Liu with a hate crime and arson. Earlier this month, prosecutors say Lou was caught on surveillance video holding 2 long planks of wood and walking from Halsted to Roosevelt and then proceeded east toward Grant Park. And once there, he built the cross and then wrapped toilet paper around the cross and doused the cross in a gallon of kerosene after he tied a red hat to the top.
This is not intended to be a hate crime.
Lou's attorney in court says it was a misguided political protest. If you are in college or have taken college courses, how could you not know the context of that cross burn?
I didn't go to college for history.
But you are college, you had some college courses, right?
Not history.
CPD released photos of a man they say ran from Grant Park. Why did you choose to run away after you burned the cross, sir?
That's just what I did, man.
So
that's not relevant to...
Some can say you ran away because you were a coward. How do you respond to that?
No.
Then why run? As Lou awaits trial, he says he now understands the racial context.
I've learned now the severity and the historical baggage and the context of what I've done. I understand that now, okay? Before, you can call it uneducated, you can call it ignorance. I understand that, okay? So that's that.
Where did you get the idea of a cross burning if you knew nothing about it?
From my brain.
He's due back in court next week. Jermont Terry, CBS News, Chicago.
Oh man. See, what I understand about these non-blacks is that I don't know what kind of Asian this person is. So I don't. Was that Korean? You say?
No. I'm just saying that he's just Asian. Like I don't.
Yeah.
I don't do the Korean, Chinese, Laos thing.
And it really does not matter. You know, like all of them, if most of them get to receive the same programming. Like, first of all, every non-white person, because this person is not white. He's not accepted as white. He's not accepted as white. He's reminds me of Elliot Rodgers. This person is so confused. Their mind is just so full of like racist propaganda that, like, you know, at least you're not black. The problem is black people. And at the same time, when we come to this planet, we are constantly bombarded with information designed to get us to worship white people. A lot of non-black people have taken that and ran with it. They worship white people. They want their approval. They want their approval. They want the acceptance. They want to be able to say, "Hey, do you see how I'm treating the black people? I'm treating the black people like you do. Do you love me now? Do you accept me, master?" That's what's happening. That's what's happening. That's how I am contextualizing the behavior. It's why you will find in Asian cultures they spend a lot of their time drawing and creating these fantastic characters, these characters with tremendous powers. They could put their hand up and shoot this giant energy blast. The energy blast can destroy a whole city, whole planet. But these characters they're creating are white. These powerful characters are white people because they've received the message a long time ago, because like every non-white person on this planet, they've gotten their ass kicked by white people for a very long time. So their minds understand these white people, man, there's something evil and there's something powerful. So when they're creating their Dragon Ball Z characters, you know, their characters are white. You know, their One Punch Men's, their characters are white or whatnot. So these people, like all non-white people, are very, very confused, worthy of great pity. You know, every non-white person experiencing immense sabotage. You know, we have been sabotaged and how we can even interact with the opposite sex. You know, Asian males and Asian females have been just so totally pent. I mean, like placed against each other. The Asian male feels very much inadequate. He sees the Asian female running to the white man, and it's just very pathetic and pitiful and tragic. And yeah, just how black people try to get their hair straight, look more acceptable. You got the Asians trying to get their eyes looking more acceptable. It's just non-white people worldwide. Just we need to really develop some self-respect, some dignity, some serious efforts on some self-respect. Because this Asian reminds me of Elliot Rogers. This Merlin Liu, I think his name was. But this is nothing new. White people have taught the entire planet. My bad. The planet. We don't know what the planet thinks. The white people have taught the people on this planet to, hey, black people deserve the worst treatment. You're not gonna like anybody, but make sure you don't like black people the most. And he got the message. Many of other non-whites get the message and they act on it. There's a clip going around not too long ago of this black male being stopped and asked to show his ID by some Indian guy. And yeah, they also got the message. They got the message a long time ago. When you give a people something like the caste system and you say the darkest skin color is the worst, and you say, hey, you're so dark and disgusting, if your shadow touches me, I have the right to kill you. You know, when you can put that in a people's mind, from that point onward, nothing they do will have much value because the mind is already so sabotaged. So that's what we're dealing with on this planet. Sabotage minds and just doesn't get any better than tacky. I'm sure there's ways to present this information more pleasantly, but I don't care to do that. Thoughts?
I guess one, did you think this was some sort of a initiation to, like have white people get on the side? And number two, great that the reporter caught him in a contradiction because first he said he didn't he didn't go to college for history, but I mean, but like somehow he has some sort of a knowledge about cross burning. So, but yeah, that's all. But I mean, again, it just feels as though this was some sort of a reaction for him to be along with white people, putting fire to a cross just for attention. So, but that's it.
Yeah, it's really giving look master, do you love me now vibes to me. That's what it's giving. Truly pitiful.
Black people are already in at least on social media, on a no contact, no conflict with so-called Asian people. So, if you're gonna be burning crosses, obviously, uh, this is not a person that you want to be in contact with. So, I just see his response to that reporter as deception. You're being deceptive. So he's been taught well by the racist.
Yeah, like this creep, my bad, I shouldn't name call this person exhibiting very creep loser lame behavior. There's no way you burn a this loser is obviously on like 4chan, Reddit, and all the pale corners of the internet, developing a really incorrect association to with not with black people. He's like, hey, these people, he something possessed him to go and burn this cross with the MAGA hat. He ain't fresh out the boat. He's a college student. He's been obedient enough to this system to get to college. He knows. Hey, where is his at? Somewhere in Chicago. Where did this happen at? Let me see. Come on. This happened. Oh yeah, Chicago. All right, that's where it happened. And I thought he was getting, yes, definitely practicing deception and getting upset being questioned by a black male. What are you asking me questions for? You know why I burned the cross. Thoughts before we began to sign out. All right, where is that? All right. Thank you, everyone, for sharing. Miss Action, Mr. Monsoon, for participating, being fellow panelists in this broadcast. This should just motivate us to do what we need to be doing on this planet. Taking care of our minds, learning about the system so we can have some sort of protection. When a person is lying to us, deceiving us, we will know when things are getting hairy, when conflict is arising. Oh, it's time to go. When a person is saying things that do more to promote the status quo, the system of white supremacy, when a person is behaving in a way that you're acting white, you're saying and doing things that a white person would do, a white person who believes that the system should be here forever. If you have color in your skin, if you're not white, you're on this planet not to be mistreated. Anyways, you're not on this planet to find a career and work and die. It's not what you came to this planet for. All of us have a purpose, a cosmic duty, it's been called, to solve this problem. Guarantee no one is allowed to be mistreated, and a person who needs help the most receives constructive help. We could begin by producing justice by just changing our own thoughts, changing how we relate to ourselves. I'm not gonna, you know what? I'm gonna try to be more constructive. I'm gonna spend more time reading. I'm gonna learn a skill. I'm gonna work out. I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna develop discipline. Just do something that the racists don't expect you to do. I guess those are my final thoughts. Miss Action, Mr. Monsoon, any thoughts? Any final thoughts you want to share?
Produce justice.
More reading, more reading nonfiction.
Yes, we will certainly be back sooner than later. Sooner than later. Like I said earlier in the broadcast, the system, anxiety, stress, as the system intensifies, stress anxiety is going to rise tremendously. But I've concluded, if it has been my experience, that as long as I am learning and becoming less confused about racism, white supremacy, what it is and how it works, it definitely helps to minimize the stress and anxiety. You know, like this book right here. This book. Where's the camera at? This book, Civilization or Barbarism, by Chekhov Diop, is actually my whole library is very it's like very therapeutic. But this right here, and also listening to Dr. Almost and Wilson, I think my final takeaway is that I don't want anyone to think, oh my god, white people are like they were able to take over the world because they're so much smarter than us. They just were so smart and they outsmarted everybody. No, white people took over the planet through violence, through, and massive deception, but it was uncommon, unknown for the ancient non-whites, ancient blacks to club a person to death and then go and like it was nothing. It's easy. It has always been easy for white people to be barbaric, to go somewhere, kill everything, and say, "This is my house now. I live here now." This is why we are here in 2026, because the ancient whites had no problem slaughtering, killing, pillaging, raping. They had no problem doing that. It did not take wit. It just took pure evil, it seems. And because ancient non-white people did not know how to deal with pure evil, now we're here. We have to deal with it in its hyper refined state, a state that where it smiles at you, even pretends to be helping you. So definitely a task to solve this problem, but easily doable when enough non-white people are serious about guaranteeing no one is allowed to be mistreated, and the people who need help the most receive constructive help. Until we get there, I don't trust white people. I don't have sex with white people. And whenever, hey, produce justice or kill us all. Produce justice or kill us all. Thank everybody for hanging out with us. RTR, still learning, Miss Williams, trusting God. Thanks for hanging out and participating. And the folks who will find this broadcast in the future, share. If you found it of constructive value, think of a constructive skill you want to learn, or think of a health diet you want to take on, or routine, and stick with it. CRWS signing out.